My name is Shalini. I'm a solicitor and founder of Aschfords Law Solicitors based in London. I am a member of the Law Society of England and Wales, and I have got more than 20 years of experience specializing in UK immigration. I have been doing a lot of TV shows giving legal advice specifically on UK immigration on some of the Indian channels, ZTV, and also some other local channels in the UK that's been broadcast all over the world. So today I'm very excited about discussing this category on setting up a branch office. So before I actually start the actual presentation, as this webinar focuses on UK immigration focused on the business category, I would just briefly like to share the benefits of living in England. So for business owners who are actually contemplating their first expansion globally outside their home country, then it would be just a good pointer to consider some of the practical factors as well when making the decision whether to actually settle and start a business in the UK, or if you're looking in Europe or the US. So I've just put some few pointers out here. So UK is the world's #1 for business. It's still a hub where globally everyone would like to actually come and set up their business because of its connectivity and the global presence. It's a great property investment place. You are able to invest in properties in the UK, but there are very good opportunities, very reasonable property opportunities outside UK as well. It's also got flexible time zones. So if you look at just focusing on India, it's only 4.5 hours in summer and 5.5 hours in winter. There's a high quality of living and one of the most stable political environments, ignoring exactly at the moment what's happening, but just on the overview, one of the most stable political environments. Global education. It's a flexible labor market, and English language is the main language, so you don't have a language barrier as compared to the European countries. More than anything else, it is a safe haven in this troubled world. We have just come out of COVID, or we're still recovering from the effects of COVID. So, and also looking at terrorism and other safety issues. It is one of the best places to raise a family. It's a multicultural society. We have all ethnicities over here. Even in the schools, the children are taught on a multicultural and multi-religion in their curriculum as well. The other thing we have is the free healthcare. So if someone comes on a visa, which is a long-term visa and not a tourist visa, then you are eligible for free healthcare and free prescriptions depending on your circumstances. There is also free schooling for children under the age of 18. However, there is private schools as well. We have from India, Gandhiji, Nehruji, who also studied in the UK. So you have private schools as well if you chose to take that route. The free schooling is there as well. So this is just a few pointers that I've given for considering where to actually establish your business when you are looking out of your home country. Now, understanding this route, starting on how to set up a branch office and what are the immigration rules that actually surround it. Now, UK immigration and specifically the business category has been very popular, and UK has been very keen to have high net worth individuals and also businessmen who would actually invest in the economy and help the country to grow. The most popular categories that we've had in business immigration would be the entrepreneur visa that we've had for a few years, which was a very popular good category, which only required £200,000 to invest in the UK. And you could just start a business, which led on to British citizenship as well. A lot of people are still coming to us and asking about this category, but I have taken this opportunity to just mention this, as this category is no longer there. The government has stopped it a while ago. The only reason you might see it on the internet or being advertised is only for people who are already under this category can either extend or apply for their indefinite leave to remain. There has also been the investor visa, which again has been stopped by the government. And then we have the sole representative visa, which allowed businesses to come and set up a branch or a subsidiary office in the UK. This has been a very popular category, and I personally have been actually doing a lot of applications under this category. In fact, we did a webinar a couple of years ago, just before COVID, and in my webinar, I did say to the prospective candidates that to use this category if they were thinking of setting up a branch office in the UK, as this has now come to an end. Now, coming on to what we are discussing today is a very similar route to the sole representative visa, a little bit more complicated. It's kind of a hybrid between the sole representative and the Tier 2 work permit visa, which comes under the point-based system. So I'll just now start with the overview of this category. So if you have an established business anywhere in the world, which is outside the UK, that is your starting point. Then you must intend to set up a branch or a subsidiary office in the UK. You must have the affordability and the scope to build and expand a business in the UK. Now, what this actually means is the concept of your business should be such that can actually, the presence in the UK would help the business. So we have, for example, helped businesses who have probably in the jewelry business. We have recently helped someone who was in solar panel business and they wanted to establish a business over here, manufacturing of clothing. So these kinds of businesses can actually expand well and establish their presence here. The good thing about this category is there is no requirement for investment funds. So business owners have the freedom to actually invest what they really want to or what the requirements of their own business needs are. So there is no sword hanging on yourself that the requirement for immigration purposes is an X amount that you must invest. So that is a very positive and a very big pointer to actually encourage businesses to invest and even take that risk of just trying out to establish and see how far they can go with expanding the business and make it financially lucrative for themselves. For this category, which is a surprise, there is actually no English language requirement. And the visa duration is the maximum is 2 years. You would be able to switch if the business goes well to other categories that can lead on to British citizenship. So I'm going to start with the introduction to the UK expansion visa under the Global Business Mobility GBM. That is the actual category of the visa under the immigration rules. An expansion worker visa replaced the overseas or the sole representative visa. This category is designed to allow senior employees and others to come and live in the United Kingdom in order to establish a UK branch of a company. The workers must have been employed for 12 months by the overseas company. There is, however, an exception to this. So if you are a high earner, then you do not need to have spent a minimum period with the company, working with the company for 12 months. It also allows you to bring dependents under the age of 18 and spouses or partners to the UK. Dependents under this scheme would be eligible for free UK medical treatment and also free schooling for children under the age of 18. If you do have any questions, I would just like to mention, if you just do have any questions, you can raise them in the chat box and I will be happy to answer them as many as I can at the end of the presentation. So looking at the process of how this works, I have tried my best to actually simplify this process, as there are quite a number of hoops that you would have to jump through to put the whole immigration process together to come and set up the business in the UK. So an outline of the process to follow when applying for this expansion worker visa route, you must register a company in the UK with Companies House. And what the Home Office has actually termed it as that companies should establish a footprint in the UK. Once you have established the company in the UK, the company must apply for a sponsor license in the UK to get it approved by the Home Office. So this process in itself is quite a lengthy process, in the sense there are certain compliances that the company must follow once the sponsor license is granted, which I'm not going to touch so much upon here. I'm just giving you an outline. So the sponsor license application will have to be submitted on behalf of the company that's registered in the UK. Once the sponsor license is approved, then the company, apologies, I think there was an issue in the connection. I hope everyone can hear me.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Right. So I'll just start with what I was saying about the process, an outline of the process to follow when applying for the expansion worker visa route. To register a company in the UK with the Companies House, and that is to establish a footprint in the UK. This is a word that has been actually put in the rules, in the guidance by the government to establish a footprint. Once that is done, then you apply for the sponsor license for the company that has been registered with Companies House, and you get the license approved by the Home Office. Once the license is approved, then you need to apply for a certificate of sponsorship through the sponsor management system that is allocated to the specific company once it's approved by the Home Office. Now, how to apply for the expansion worker visa? The requirements are that you have the evidence of the UK footprint for the proposed branch in the UK. Evidence of the overseas company in your home country that you have been trading at least for 12 months. The requirements generally, Home Office prefers that the business has been established for at least 3 years, but it would be possible to submit an application for a company that has been trading in their home country only for 12 months. And evidence of the planned expansion in the UK. So you would need to have a business plan to show that what kind of expansion and branch office you would set up in the UK and what the business would be doing and how you would build it up. Now, establishing the footprint, for the purposes of this category, a UK footprint is defined as having a registered company in the UK or a business premises in the UK. It's generally not even the business premises, which I would personally say that you must avoid. It's more of registering a company with Companies House. It does not mean a UK trading history. It is important that the UK company must not have undertaken any active trading before the visa is granted. Now, this point is extremely important. We've had a lot of businesses approach us under this category with the vision that they want to establish a branch or a subsidiary office, and they come to us with the company registered in the UK. They are registered for VAT, HMRC, for the payroll, the PAYE, and also have a bank account. And they feel that now they have done the full due diligence, so it would be easier for them to actually get the immigration, to get staff over here to start the business rolling. However, for the purposes of this category, you just face a barrier. You cannot use this category if you have started trading, even if it is a small sum. In the past, even if it's a few years ago and then the company's become dormant, you will not be able to use this category. Therefore, in this category, it's extremely important, if the plan is for your business to establish a branch or a subsidiary office in the UK, then please seek legal advice much beforehand so you can do your planning properly and the business plan can be implemented with the minimum of challenges. Evidence of a planned expansion in the UK. Usually this is done by the preparation of a business plan with supporting evidence, which will also help to show the genuineness of the expansion and the application. It is important to ensure that the business plan is compliant with the UK rules under this category. This is another thing with a lot of businesses will say, well, we've been in the business for a very long time. We are very clear with the vision. We've got a business plan. That's absolutely fine. What you really need to do is make that business plan Home Office compliant, because what the compliance is the Home Office expects in terms of the sponsor license and then sponsoring your workers or the shareholders from your business coming to the UK, they need to be compliant. So this is a very important point as well. Now, looking at the sponsor license, the application that needs to be submitted with the Home Office in the UK, the company in the UK will need to be authorized by the Home Office to employ a person who is not a settled worker or does not have otherwise immigration permission to work for you in the UK. This authorization is known as sponsor license, and employers who hold a sponsor license are known as the sponsors. Under this category, you can only sponsor the number of workers you genuinely need to establish the UK business, and up to a maximum of 5 workers at any time can come into the country. Once you have established a UK trading presence, you can add other routes to your license and sponsor workers on those routes. So this is also a very important point, as this category allows you only to come in for 2 years. So this is more an opportunity that the government is giving to businesses from overseas who just want to probably test the waters in the UK, whether this is a good option for your business to actually make it a long-term presence, so where you just want to try whether it's going to be financially lucrative for you or not. it is only for 2 years. But if it goes well in these 2 years and you want to make a permanent presence in the UK, then you can switch on to other categories and employ more staff, whichever way the requirement is in the business. A worker must have an offer of a job which meets the relevant criteria from the approved sponsor before they make a valid application to enter or stay in the UK under this route. The sponsor confirms this by assigning a certificate of sponsorship to the worker. So what is a certificate of sponsorship? A certificate of sponsorship is a very important document because without that, the member of your businesses, your staff team or shareholders or the partners in the business will not be able to come to the UK until the certificate of sponsorship is issued using the sponsor management system. This is an electronic document with a unique reference number issued by the sponsor to a worker via the sponsor management system. A COS would confirm the details of the job for which you will be sponsoring the worker. The worker must have a valid COS before they can make a successful application for entry clearance to the UK. Now, how much should the applicant be paid under the expansion worker rule? This is important to consider as there is no investment requirement in this category. And I think the main investment or the expense that the company, the UK company or the branch office that's going to be set up would have to consider is the salary that needs to be paid to the person who's going to come to set up the business. So a high earner under this category should be paid 73,900 per year in the UK. If the applicant is not a high earner, then they will need to be paid a minimum of 42,400 per annum and must have also worked for the home country company for at least 12 months. So both the options are there. If you have got someone you are recruiting specifically to come and establish your business in the UK and they will be paid a higher salary of 73,900 per annum, then you don't have to show any minimum period of recruitment with your company in your home country. The salary is not a pre-existing salary. So the income needs to be earned once the expansion worker visa status is granted. So actually, again, it gives you more leeway to plan your branch office, setting it up here, recruiting the relevant staff if you need to, and they will only need to be paid this above stated salary when they are granted the visa. Looking at the proposed extension and switching applications, like I mentioned, this category is only for maximum period is 2 years. So what we are looking at is that you would be able to switch, which then leads on to British citizenship. So expansion visa, GBN, is granted for 12 months and can be extended for another 12 months. So in total, the maximum period of leave is 2 years. If the overseas business still has its headquarters and principle of business outside the UK, and the applicant continues to be employed full-time under this category, also the applicants are able to demonstrate that they have generated business and have connected to the UK firms and other businesses, then there is the option to switch to a skilled worker visa, which then leads on to British citizenship. So provided if, for example, if you set up the branch office or the subsidiary office and within 6 months, you find that your business is trading well, you have established a presence, then it would be advisable to switch on to the skilled worker visa as soon as possible to then that category would lead on to British citizenship. Again, it depends on personal preferences. What is the long-term vision? A lot of business owners tell us that we only want to set up the business and from time to time send employees and senior staff to look after the business. They personally don't want to be here permanently. A lot of business owners want that once they set up the business, their plan is, if not for themselves, maybe their adult children to come and settle over here, that they can get the British citizenship. So again, it depends on personal preferences from personal immigration point of view and from the business immigration point of view. So the initial planning is extremely important to actually start implementing your business plan and also looking at immigration. So I'm just going to take this opportunity to give you an outline of the fee structure that is only related to the immigration side of things. So the sponsor license application, which is the first step once the company has been registered with Companies House in the UK. So that's £536 is the Home Office fee. Once the sponsor license is granted and you have to make an application under the sponsor license for a certificate of sponsorship, it's £199. And if you're applying for a priority service, then it's an additional £200. The entry clearance visa application that will be made from your home country is £259. And the immigration health surcharge for 12 months is £624. So in total, your visa expense for immigration purposes, it's £1,818. So this is just an overview that I have actually given you for this category for the expansion worker visa under the global business mobility category. Just to tell you a little bit about us, what we do. So Aschfords Law Solicitors, we specialize in UK immigration. We are a London-based law firm, and we assist with all aspects of UK immigration from start to finish. We are registered with the SRA and are also accredited by the Law Society. We do assist with other areas of law as well, other than all aspects of UK immigration. So today the focus was purely on this business category. However, we assist with visit visa applications, entry clearance applications, appeal matters, administrative review, high court applications as well. We also assist with family law and matrimonial matters. We assist with international contracts, litigation and advocacy, motoring offences, and wills and probate. A little bit about how Aschfords Law can assist. I think looking at this brief presentation, it can be a little bit mind-boggling. Like I said, we have tried to simplify it as much as possible. There is a lot that needs to be done. Each stage, each point that I've actually explained in the presentation, most of the stages that are there, there are at least 4 stages involved in this whole process. So it's very important that we look at each piece and, like a jigsaw puzzle, put the pieces together so that everything goes very smoothly for your business. So the previous similar category, the sole representative visa, has stopped this year and the rules are more complicated now. The whole process can be done remotely from our London office. We look after all the administrative and legal work. We also guide and prepare for the interview with the visa officer. Generally, we find a majority of the applications, our clients are not called for an interview, but if the visa officer actually wanted to, you can be invited for an interview. So that's a service that we actually help with, because what it is we are looking at the business that's in your home country. We have to prepare and build up the profile that needs to be submitted with the Home Office. Then we are looking at your the branch office that you want to set up, and then we are looking at all the compliances and the immigration side of things. So there is a lot that needs to be put together in one application. We assess your business overseas. We work with your existing business and help and guide to build the documents, including the contracts, the partnership agreements, the business plan, and the preparation for the submission of various applications. So basically, Aschfords Law will take the headache of the planning, the guide, and building the blocks for a speedy and successful outcome, giving you the freedom and the peace of mind to actually focus on the business aspect of things. We never ever submit a file that we feel is not going to be successful, or where we feel it's even a 80 or a 90% file. We try and build the file to a 200%. The reason being that UK immigration is very strict, and even if it's just for a minor admin error and you have a refusal, then it puts you in a difficult situation. The time is then wasted, and of course, the money aspect as well. We have very proudly to say that we have a 100% success rate for the last couple of years, from 2020 to 2022, for entry clearance business UK immigration. So please do visit our website and also our Google review if you want to see some of the client feedback. Like I said, Aschfords Law has been established for 11 years, and I have more than 20 years of experience in UK immigration. I would hope you have enjoyed the presentation and it has not been too overwhelming, all the information. I would be happy to answer any questions that you have if you just give me a couple of minutes to look at the questions that we have. We've got a question asking that, do we need a local business partner in the UK to start a business? That's a very good question. Previously, what we have seen that business owners who did not want to actually migrate have set up businesses in the UK with a local business partner who has settled status or is a British passport holder. So for this category, that is the good thing, that you have your business and the logistics of it in your control. You do not need a local business partner. It will be all in the name of your home country business. So that gives you the full control and freedom to maneuver the business the way you want to. Yes, that's, can the business owners themselves travel to the UK under this category, or does it have to be an employee hired for the purpose of business expansion? So yes, business owners can actually apply as well. But the only thing you have to bear in mind is this category is to set up a branch office. So the head office in the home country should always be operational. So if you are a sole trader and if you're going to do the application for yourself, then the home office is going to raise the question that who is going to look after the head office. So if you have a business partner or a multiple number of shareholders, then one of the partners and business owners can definitely come, but sole traders would not be able to come because the whole essence of the head office is not going to be there. So important thing is head office should always be operational. And if you have got a number of business partners, then your shareholding should not be more than 50%, so that there are other people who have got the control of the business would be able to run the head office outside the UK. Is there any category that we can open a branch? This category is actually specifically to open a branch office in the UK. So anything other than this, there is nothing in the rules at the moment. All right, I think. Yes, I think I have answered this question about business owners coming to making the application for themselves. Essentially, they can, but not if they're a sole trader. They would need other business partners in the head office. I think Rebecca has asked a question. If I'm making a branch office of the existing company in India, do I still need to form a new company and register it with Company House, or do I need to form the same company on Company House? So Rebecca, what you would need to do is you will be establishing, registering a company in the UK as a branch or a subsidiary of the company you have in India. Yeah, I hope that's helpful. Right, so thank you very much for joining me today for this webinar. My apologies for the slight hiccups that we had initially. I hope you have found this webinar informative, and if you have any further questions, please don't hesitate to contact us, and I will be happy to answer any questions if I've not been able to answer your questions here today. So thank you very much.